Kitty gon' purr when I hit it like that. I like it with fur, put it in it and react. I'm fucking with her to the end of this effect. But it's no strings attached and I like it. No strings attached, but she like that. No strings attached, but she right back. Hit it from the back, cause she like that. Hit it from the back, cause she like that. She the top to match, pull up with a bigger sack. All about me, know me where them niggas at. When she on the free, she like where them dollars at. If I hit it with a text, she respond right back.
Peace to the family. It's the Homistic. www.homistic.com. Y'all is today's video is titled "All Is Fair in Love and War." But before I even get to that, before I even speak about that, let's just first discuss Patreon. Patreon takes place today. After this reading, I'll do a post. So all my Patreon subscribers, let's be ready for that. Peace to the family, peace Dreamwise, peace to everybody on the live. I have something. Basically, Patreon, really, that's what's going down today. All my Patreon subscribers, you already know what it is. Have those things ready, and we can get into it. Today, this video is titled All Is Fair in Love and War. And today, we're going to be talking about relationships. Ultimately, we all might not be in relationships. We all might struggle with that, or we might be in relationships and struggle with that too. So, in time to time, we talk about different things, talk about the whole human experience on this channel. Part of that human experience is relationships. So, in discussing the moon in Taurus, Taurus being ruled by Venus, the moon being exalted in Taurus, we're talking about love. So I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. If the sound is better and you can hear me okay, just give me a little thumbs up, because I've been having real trouble with my sound lately, but nobody's fault but my own, trying to figure this out and get some things in order. So hopefully everything is copacetic on that end. So yeah, it's just been a very, very interesting study and doing all of this and coming up with the particular conclusions that I came up with. I feel as though this conversation might be a very, very interesting one, because I have some very, very interesting things to say in the realms of relationship, in the realms of love. And I know sometimes when people think about these things, it can be very provocative, very sensationalized. But in just doing the study of the astrology and then dealing with the energy that people can understand, is relationships. No matter how spiritual you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter where you are at in the spectrum, no matter your gender, no matter your race, no matter what's going on in your life, relationships are an important subject that one tends to deal with. So, moon in Taurus is a earth sign, right? The moon is our subconscious mind, our earth meaning our real reality. Like a lot of things we imagine, like our air and our fire and our water. Our water is real, but then again, our emotions can be fickle, they can change. Our relationships, when we make commitments, that's very stubborn, right? It's not gonna just be flim flam. I mean, certain people do have relationships like that, but in the truest context of relationships, in kind of like the archetype version of relationships, where there were previous versions of relationships that predated our existence to this present moment, and then reading on them things, that's where we get Shango and Oya. And then how does that relate to our everyday lives? And the reason why I came up with this Shango and Oya is because Aquarius is Shango, right? Shango is a lot of different things celestial. He is Aquarius, and he can also be the constellation of Hercules. There's like many, many constellations, right? And all of these constellations have a mythological story. So they're never really talking about the stars more than they're talking about the human experience. And if we write it in the stars and we speak about it through mythology, it just lasts longer, right? If I just identify it in a particular person that just ups and dies one day, right? And it doesn't continue to live on. But if I put it in the stars, no matter what generation, no matter what age we are, we can all reference the stars and reference the stories and mythologies that help us along our personal human path, because there's a lot of energy that might distort or distract or disrupt your actual archetypal programming or your ability to access that archetypal programming. So the moon in Taurus is a programming point. What do you want your reality to be like? What do you want your reality to stand for? And I find that the moon in Taurus is a very powerful place because, as we talked about yesterday, that little foggy gray part, that's the Milky Way. That's the cosmic center. That's where all of this shit has come from, and that's where all of this shit is going to. That's actually where we come from. That's actually where we go to. So, from a primal understanding of humanality, this is an important part. What is the issue to what I'm saying? People not dealing with this. People dealing with the ego. Even when it gets to spirituality, even when it gets to uh, personality, even when it gets to your relationships, you relate on an ego level and not on a soul level. Or understanding that you create your relationships. Oh man. Like, what do you mean you create your relationship? If Taurus is a earth sign and it's an establishment of an earth, it's very fixed, it's very stubborn. So it's not much that can go on. In the third decan of Vedic astrology, Saturn rules this actual decan. So Saturn and the earth is not really much that's going on. However, that doesn't mean you can't prepare for things to change. It's not a point of forever. It's just a short momentary time that we're going into, that you sit, you plan, you figure it out. Because throughout the day and moving into tomorrow, things is really going to pick up. Things are absolutely going to change. It's just going to change. So are you prepared for things to change for the better, or are you prepared for things to not change at all and then be caught off guard? Things are working out in your favor, even on the underside of it. You don't have to necessarily do anything particularly except accept the fact that things are working out in your favor in the undercurrents. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But Taurus is the second house. The second house in its particular space and time could also represent relationships, because is all they say material possessions. But say for instance you are very wealthy and you marry somebody that's extremely vindictive, and she or he divorces you and takes half of your money. That would then be a very material possession type of relationship. But see, understand that that's all relationship. Chris Rock got a joke like, if I was making, 20 million and you take half, that ain't gonna kill me. But if I was making 30,000, I ain't gonna get into the joke. But he's like, I ain't about to move in with my mama because you ain't in love. So the overall premise of the joke is that our relationships have a lot of value, right? And this could be very contrary to your personal experience. Your relationship could drain you. Your relationship could be purely sexual. Your relationship could be for shits and giggles, right? Your relationship could be simply passing the time, right? However, a relationship either is decreasing in value or growing in value. And these are things that one has to be truly mindful of as this energy progresses through Taurus throughout the day and into Gemini. Because Gemini is where shit gets a little crazy, right? Or Gemini is where things can get really focused and very aligned based upon the truth. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, is the communicator of truth, not the communicator of lies. So when it gets to our hopes and dreams and not our effort that we put into the relationship, then you're going to be really confused and really crazy and really trying to get a reading about some shit that it's really simply about what are you giving without expectation. That's love, right? And maybe somebody does the same for you, right? But you have to be wise enough, discerned enough, because Saturn is really tied up into wisdom, and you know better than that. Or really looking at the reality of the situation for what it stands, as opposed to the moon going into Gemini and you getting a push and a thrust into life, or the moon going into Gemini and is really confusing you and throwing you off into another loop and having you real loopy out here because you expected things that you can't necessarily expect in people. The thing about relationships that people will tell you is very personal. You really make a commitment, you really make a choice outside of your expectations. That's why you might see, a beautiful woman with a fat guy, or you might see a beautiful man with, however it goes, or how all women are beautiful. So, there goes that, right? So moving on, it's not the exterior, it's not the motives, it's not even the personality, it's not even the comfortability, it's not even the fact that they provide for you. It's the fact that you give into person without any expectation in return. That's love. This is my version of love that I'm speaking to. When you get to a point of soul magnetics, you attract people who only want the best for you. That's first. The second level is, what do you do because of that? You give to them unconditionally. That's two. And then step three is go back to step one, right? There's nothing more beyond that. It's nothing more beyond that. And it gets complicated when you have expectations. It gets really complicated when you close to somebody and you expect them to do something for you and not focus on their soul's path. That shit gets really complicated, and you can smudge it and you could recreate it and you could come up with different narratives and have different consultations and different readings about why is this happening to me, when love is an action word from an individual. It is a responsibility from a person that is giving that without nothing in return. And that becomes a point where a person says, I cannot do that. Or I can do that. That's cool. But what am I getting out of it? And what I said was love without no precondition, love without wanting nothing in return. And then even more so, having the same level of discernment of being wise of who to do that to based upon your magnetism. Because yesterday we discussed karma in a way that karma is the result of past seeds being planted. So if your past seed planted was that of loneliness, you'll attract loneliness in the future. But when loneliness shows up, you forget that seed that you planted of loneliness and creates more loneliness. However, partnership, business, love, something that you feed into yourself, something that you magnetize for yourself, something that shows up in reality, something that you can move forward into. And this is more or less the moon coming from a stagnant position into an Aries position, where it could be very, very toxic, very, very harmful, because this stagnancy got you in panic mode, right? You plant the seed of jealousy, envy, loneliness, doubt, worry, fear. And then it goes into Gemini. Oh, buddy. Because the seeds is going to manifest and it's going to communicate the truth, because it is really confusing, because it's like, why is this happening? But it's like, you actually feel these emotions during crucial melatonin rising times during new moons because you're not dealing with the energy of your biology at all. Everything is external. Everything is how everything looks. Everything is a particular aesthetic. Everything is look at me, right? At a certain level. And if it's not look at me, it's like wait until it gets to a point where it's look at me. I ain't there yet, but I'm getting there. Hold up a second. As opposed to really just giving love. Really simple shit that we dealing with. Really simple dynamics that we dealing with. Give love the same way you want to receive love, right? That's the golden rule. They teach you that shit like when you 5, right? But you know, we can complicate a lot of stuff. So that's the moon exiting Taurus. The moon stays in Taurus a little longer based upon the gravitational pull of the Milky Way, right? It stays here a little bit longer, stays in Scorpio Sag a little bit longer because that gravitational pull, that power that, you know, whether you mindful of or unaware of, is still present. The thing about rain, it never asks you, hey, is it okay if I come out today? The sun never asks you, hey, is it okay if I come out today? It just does it. It just does its thing. So the gravitational power, the electromagnetic power, the power of the ley lines, the power of the earth, because the moon in Taurus is still an earth sign, right? Gravitational energy, geomantic energy exists all around you, and nothing is stopping you from actually dealing with it or touching it or building with it or manifesting with it the same way that your ancestors manifested with it. Your ancestors were in the forest and nature for a reason, because within these actual points there's ley lines and actual points of energy that give you information. And they even left little markings and little symbols and little landmarks of letting you know where the energy was. In North America, in Northwest America, in Egypt, in South America, they call them mounds or they call them pyramids. And one might not be close to them, then you can deal with circulatenergy.com and get you an organite. You understand? Get some form of a pyramid in your house as a form of energy, as a form of nature, as a form of connection. It's a lot of different things that take place, but more or less I'm speaking to nature and I'm also speaking to healing. And this is Chiron conjunct Lilith, because Chiron is the wounded healer. Lilith is more of a nature mystery, dealing with it, exercising your shadow. And then actually in exercising your shadow, you figure out what actually your shadow is. And it's an interesting thing. But more so is going out into the unknown, going to places that you never gone to, do things you've never done, be a person that you never thought you would become. This is Lilith. Chiron is actually saying that I've had negative experiences in my past. I've been wounded. But because of those wounds, I've actually found a modality to heal myself. And because of this, what I found to heal myself, I'm not just going to heal myself. I'm going to actually speak healing into other people. This is a beautiful, beautiful conjunction. And even more so, it comes into an exact 9-degree conjunction today. So there is a space for healing. There is a space for reversals. There is a space for dealing with it, but you're not going to deal with it by getting a lot of money. You're going to deal with it by being close to somebody and learning that shit, learning relationships, learning how to deal with another human being in a safe, respectable, loving, honest way. And it takes two to tango. So it's really, really beautiful when you're listening to this with your couple, or you're listening to this with your dude, or you're listening to this with your girl, because you can say to your girl, you can say to your man, I'm going to love you unconditionally. And your man or your girl says to you, I'm going to love you unconditionally. We're going to love each other unconditionally. We're going to communicate. We're going to be productive. We're going to talk, because both of us don't want to work for this such and such a person. We rather work together. And it's such a beautiful thing when you and your wife work together for a life together and do the best thing that you can do for each other constantly. This is a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. However, there's some healing that might need to take place, right? There's some shadow that might need to be uncovered. Don't think that life is going to make it better because you got money or because you got a job or because you in a particular situation where you're better than the next person and you're not expressing your true sexual nature, right? You're not expressing your true source of creativity. Your creativity is netting you finances, but is it netting you a positive sexual relationship with a man? Is it netting you a positive sexual relationship with a woman? And it's not about nothing of what I feel. It's all about what you feel, right? It's all about your path and all about the things that make you happy. And if money is the shit for you, if material things is the shit for you, like I get that. And I tried that. But you know, I really see the once that initial moment of having something is gone, then something else comes up. However, I found the truest healing and the truest love and the truest joy by being honest and communicating with my wife, right? Being intimate with my wife in a way through conversation where I can be truthful about my masculinity and she could be truthful about her femininity and we can discuss both sides, right? It doesn't really show up any other way for me. And I can imagine having a lot more money. I can imagine doing a lot more things, but whatever I'm gonna do it with my wife. So it really don't fucking matter. Whatever I'm gonna do it with my kids. I done been to the bottom of the bottoms. So, and I can go back to the bottoms of the bottoms because I know how to survive, right? My neighborhood was literally called the bottoms. You understand what I'm saying? So it's nothing to me. Nothing is nothing to me. It's all good. I really know that my purpose is in pouring out an abundance of love. And I understand that that may not be another person's thing. But when you have questions about your sexuality, when you have questions about your relationship, when you have questions about, oh, do you understand that it's a feminist movement and there's a men go their own way movement? Meaning that women feel like they serve being injustice by society, and then men feel like they being injustice by society. The reality is that they both being injustice by the society. They being injustice to themselves because they can't come together and go against the real enemy, right? They think that it's so crazy. All of these different little platforms and these little social groups fighting for rights, and all of these little segmented small ass groups fighting for the same thing, fighting against the same person, but we can't seem to come together. This is all shadow, right? So, however, with all of that being said, Lilith conjunct Chiron presents it to where it's a reversal of shadow, where that shadow doesn't just linger over and that's just the thing. I'm not pointing out negativity for negativity's sakes because Lilith is conjunct Chiron. I'm pointing out negativity because it's going to flip into positivity. Almost magically or mysteriously, Lilith is magic. Chiron is healing. So in doing the research, I said, okay, from a soul level, I get it now. I get it now. I get it. From a soul level, it's been a lot of different downloads and a lot of different things, but it's very simple. When I know that my soul is sacred, when I know that my soul is most beautiful, when I know that I'm a creator of this whole entire world, and I'm not speaking of myself, I'm speaking to everybody who possesses a soul, who is a soul listening in, right? Who is a part of the same being, of the same soul archetype. that is all powerful, most beautiful, and is a creator. That is the Brahman, that is the Vishnu, that is the Lakshmi, that is the Ganesha within, right? This is us, right? We created this whole entire world. And the awakening to that is reversing the shadow. So a lot of things that's happening is a result of entropy. But if you ever watch Mr. Nobody, it gets to a point where it entropies and it falls into such disarray that it eventually begins to reverse itself. And that's what we're dealing with, okay? So it's only right that we deal with this ancient time traveling energy in the proper fashion. 1 second. These lies, man. My coffee gets so cold. Oh, it's so aggravating. Once your coffee go cold, it's just do waste. So time traveling. Looking at the old archetypal relationships. Today is Tuesday. Today could be Ogun Day. Today could be Shango Day. It just depends on you. Today I'm gonna do Shango. Maybe next week I'll do Ogun. But we just dealing with the archetypal energy of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and understanding this energy from an advanced level, an eighth house level, and an 11th house level, right? Scorpio is the eighth house. Aquarius is the 11th house. Oya is Scorpio. Shango is Aquarius. Meaning that this love has things to do, right? This isn't seventh house and first house, right? First house is, how people view you. How, we could get so stuck in the first house. There's a lot of people, a majority of people never transcend out of the first house. They only want to live a life based on how people view them. And that's really sad because they never get into the second house, which is material possessions. Like, you ain't even got no money. You just only care about how people view you. And, learning how to speak to people, learning how to take care of your home, learning how to utilize your creative gifts, learning how to take those creative gifts and give to the community, learning how to establish a relationship or a partnership that's going to lead you somewhere, and then finally transitioning and making these two individuals one, where it's like man and woman, or wherever your relationship status is, and y'all was separate entities, but now y'all share that one soul. That's Oya. That's Scorpio. Okay. That's a deeper love. When you no longer two people, you really one being. And because of this, it manifests as an energy like Shango in Aquarius. And so what we referencing when we reference Shango, we're referencing a king that lived on Earth, meaning me and you. Everybody that's existing here has Shango within them, representing that Herculean energy, that Aquarian energy, that, get on the dance floor and boogie energy, that, world's sexiest person ever, right? Most beautiful, masculine, divine masculine energy, right? Divine, the energy that your sons come out with, you know. Don't tell me these niggas ain't shit, and then your son be right there listening to you like, huh? What you mean? What? I'm not you, baby. You my king. Okay? So we talking about beautiful divine masculine energy that's just in this world, that needs to be realized, that needs to be appreciated, that needs to be self-realized, actualized, magnetized. We need to look at the divine masculine for what it is as beautiful. And this is the archetype of Shango. This is energy within all of you, all of us, right? I used to be a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still a mess, but baby, I was Man, Shango has helped me become, you know what I'm saying? Shango has helped me a lot of times with my self-esteem. And not just men can utilize the energy of Shango, right? Women can you like you just gotta feel good about, you just gotta feel like you the shit, even when you not the shit. See, cause this is more of a magical concept. Fake it till you make it. You gotta kind of be what you wanna be. And if you like, well, hood, I'm kind of I'm kind of through. I'll be like, me too. But hey, we in this matrix, baby. We gonna have to fake this shit till we make it. I am Shango. I invoke Shango. You feel me? It's to be desirable, to be lovable, to be receivable, right? This is something that you got to start within. But also, it's not a isolated energy, because there's a particular negative connotation that comes with evoking Shango energy. Do I have to go down the line? Do I have to do it? Okay. Biggie, Tupac, um, all of the rappers, all of the not even to the rappers. Say if you grew up in the hood, right? You know that dude that was doing it. He had the rims, he had the chain, you know what I'm saying? He was young, he was bossed up, and then like people was hating on him. Maybe they ain't kill him, but they robbed him or something. The police was after him because he was just doing too much. But it's not like it be times in the hood where a person is just doing too much, and it's like, bro, you doing too much. Like you way too Shango, right? You way too flossy. You got too many chains. Your car too nice. Like you putting yourself in danger, right? Like, you like understand our community, understand our insanity, understand how dangerous it is to just be your best self, to be Shango in the world, to be a king. And this might not happen in the suburbs, right? You might be safe and sound in the suburbs, but in the hood, you got to kind of learn to temper yourself, especially, or get the proper security. So when you see the women surrounding Shango, or you see a dude in the hood, he might have a lot of girls. That's a support network that he need of protection. Person gonna think twice when it's a woman involved and a kid involved and all of that. Like a person gonna think twice. And when you speak about shadow and you speak about negative energy, it's good to give you kind of these darker interpretations of it, because that brings more realness to it. That's actually the actual shadow to it, because people love Scarface, people love Boys in the Hood, people love Minister to Society and things of that nature. So moving forward, having this spiritual network of feminine energy is what makes Shango actually powerful. When it comes to him, he actually got killed at when he was a king. But his wives prayed over him so deeply at the graveyard, they allowed him to transcend into kingship, and he became a Orisha after he became a king. So that's a lot of our young kings, that echo energy, king-like energy that exists, and is more or less of that female and feminine bond that is not found in ooh, I want to make sweet love to you, baby. You so sexy, you so beautiful. No, Oya is helping Shango at war. It's a whole damn war going on, and Shango is going to stick with Oya over all of his girls, because the mere fact is that I need to be protected, and you the one that's gonna protect me, because you don't like me for aesthetic reasons. You actually helping me fight. You actually helping me do the things that I need to do in life to become a better person. And you not using me or absorbing my energy, and you not judging me. You seeing that I'm in battle. You see I gotta temper my shit down, because even if I was to be my best self, these niggas would try to kill me, right? Like these niggas would be after me if I tried to be my best self. So, I'm gonna still be my best self. Well, that's gonna attract negative energy. That's my life. That's what I'm choosing. And because of that, I need proper protection. I need somebody that's gonna give to me as I give to them. It's not You know, war is a part of life. We all grew up and lived through particular wars, but if you align your masculine and feminine energy, it don't matter. It don't matter what's coming up against you. That's why it's so important. But see, masculine and feminine energy isn't based upon you look so good, you look so sexy. It's based upon I'm gonna utilize my full masculine gifts and you utilize your full feminine gifts. And we bring those gifts together, we are invincible. We are invincible. 385 799 9560. That's the call in number. Guess I talked a little bit longer than I usually talk, but I felt like that was needed. And hopefully, y'all understood the stream of consciousness. Y'all understood the power of relationships and not how easy relationships are because it requires you to initiate it as opposed to a person waiting on somebody to initiate a relationship for them. Love is an action word. Love is something that you do without expectations. Same way you love a little baby. You don't love a little baby because they love you back. Make a conscious decision to love that little child because that little child 10 times out of 10 is using the hell out of you, but it don't matter because that's your baby, right? So that's the same. That's love. That's true love. You know, don't matter what kind of baby you got. Gonna love that baby regardless. So learn to love each other in that same fashion. And also love yourself. 385 799 9560. Ready for some feedback. Be sure to call in. Um, I don't got a lot of times. Just tell me. I don't want to call in, and then you know that can be that. You know, generally somebody be gotta be patient. Call air, man. Who don't bite, and then don't even use your real name. Tell me your name is Gomez. Yo, this Gomez. Calling out of New Mexico. Yo, your ass in Atlanta. But yeah, be anonymous. Talk your shit. It's early. I be forgetting though. Every time I do this, I forget. Okay. Sounds tomorrow. That's definitely move. Definitely. I am just being where's you located at? Like what city, state? Like where's the mounds at? Where you at? Shout out to the Astro Mystic. Shout out to Selvon. Thanks for the donation. We appreciate it. Pop Smoke didn't get uh, shout out to the shout out to everybody, man. 385 799 9560. Think I got my mic together. Feel like it. I feel more Illinois. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You don't gotta say necessary. Yeah, I mean, true, true. Illinois, that's a good spot though. Illinois, Ohio's where it's at. So, Ohio is Mount World. Anybody in Ohio want to want to go to some Mars? I'm sure want to go to Mounds. Let me know. Count to 60. I'm gonna put a second timer in. Yeah, that's what I gotta do
Welcome.
now.
This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. There are 2 participants in the conference. Please announce yourself.
All right, 702, you up next. 813, don't hang up. I'm coming to you right after. What's up, 702? Who you tapped in with the Hood Mystic? Who am I talking with?
Yo, I'm just gonna say duality, man.
No
From
doubt.
Jersey.
No doubt. No doubt. Shout out.
You wanna just show love and give peace out to the family, first of all.
No doubt. I appreciate that.
I just got one question, like,
You good?
do you ever feel like you gotta fight for the love, or like,
You know what I feel like? I feel like the love is never to my liking, but there's nothing I can do about that. So it just comes to a point where I just decide to just give the love like I want to receive it. And I don't even think about the love that I gotta fight for, or none of that.
alright.
What about you though?
Yeah, I feel like it's like a struggle sometimes. like to make a jungle sometimes to make me wonder how I keep them going under.
Yeah, it's really hard in this world to really get the love that resonates with you. There's nothing that you can really do about that though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the only thing that you could do is take care of yourself. Like, that's it. There's no real remedy. You can love yourself the way you want to be loved up until a point that you like feel satisfied, and then you just start give love to people, like you the lover, you the helper, you the provider. But a lot of times men don't do that to themselves enough. You know what I'm saying? We want to get that love from a woman. We want to, you know what I'm saying, establish that. But once we establish it within ourselves, that's why they say men are providers and men take care of shit, because
Yeah,
essentially we got to do it to ourselves to a point where we can begin to provide for other people, but it's not in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Just do it for yourself. Love yourself, build yourself up, hold yourself accountable, turn up. You know what I'm saying? Just get stronger, get smarter, eat better, like just become your divine beautiful self. You feel what I'm saying? Like, be that. You know what I'm saying? And don't let
alright.
nobody take that away from you. And until you get to that point in time where you feel you that, you know what I'm saying, a person gonna really be, yo, do better, or I need more. And you like, yo, it's confusing as shit. But you know within you is like a jewel. You know within you is a treasure, and you owe it to yourself to find that, right?
Alright, yeah. Yeah. I got you. Alright, man. It's been epic though. Like I
Yeah,
like to even debate with you, man. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah.
I appreciate the time duality, bro. Reach out, yo. Like,
Alright.
and even what we built upon, like, digest it, think about it, and then I'm going live tomorrow. Call back and let me know. You know what I'm saying? What
Yeah, yeah.
where we at?
Alright.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Peace. 813, you tapped in with the Mystic.
Hello, Mystic. It is good to talk with you. My name is Liam.
Good.
I appreciate what you're doing. I think that's great to do. Colin, I do YouTube astrology, astrotheology, and stuff, and been a fan of yours for a while.
Dope.
I have a question. I'm been into astrology and stuff, and studying the ascension process and, like, Kundalini energy and chakras and whatnot. Um, and I'm a white man, being a black person and like the melanin in the skin or something,
Mm-hmm.
is it more difficult for a white person to like kind of come to a conscious like awakening, enlightenment?
Depends. If you view yourself as a white man, then yeah. If I view myself as a black person, then I'm subject to whatever the black people rules are of the day. Hey, you can't listen to this. We don't listen to Barry Manilow. We don't listen to Bill Sinatra or Frank Sinatra and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's rules to particular races. You know, the same way if I was Chinese, then I would have to deal with face. And my family saying, what's your face value? Is your face up or your face down? It's all different types of shit that you could really attach yourself to. So if you, and I'm not saying because you're a white person is going to be difficult. I'm saying because you identify with being a white person. Because before
Because
you were born, somebody dictated over you that you're going to be a little white boy, right? And that has nothing to do with your chakras. That has nothing to do
mm,
with your kundalini. That has nothing to do with your biology. Do you have a spine? Do you have a
yeah.
do you have a central nervous system, right? Do
So
you
is it you're saying it's the social environment that you're kind of in, and then what you identify as? Because
yeah,
if, what if somebody grew up in a different kind of culture? Say
right.
I grew up in a black neighborhood in a black community.
Right. And your whole self identity might be, you know, something completely different from a person that was born in Brampton, right? You wouldn't even want to hang out with people from the suburbs and shit. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't even be a thing. You might even become a rapper or some shit and be with the guys in the video and just be like, yo, what is this dude on? And people just don't understand we are our environment. We are products of our environment. So one could choose their environment very carefully and adapt that environment. You know, it doesn't matter. If you was in prison, your mentality would change based upon your environment. If you was in the suburb, your mentality would change based on your environment. If your mom grew up in the projects, your your mentality is going to be your environment. So it's really important to deal with that, the psychobiology of society. That's perfectly fine to do all the research, and you can even self-identify whatever you want. That's your personal choice. But spirituality is the same thing as me walking in the Burger King, and me walking in the Burger King, and the goddamn cashier, if it's a white man, if it's a black woman, if it's a goddamn Chinese person there, all I want is a Whopper with cheese. Damn it, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes to raising my kundalini, I've listened to people of all races give me knowledge that helps me in my spiritual journey. Okay,
Mm.
it's never a point of looking at a person. You can hear, you can sense the sincerity, you can hear and sense the truth in a person's words and what they mean. So it's
Because
only as
I've heard
difficult as you
people say
make
that
it.
black people, because of a certain like chemical in their body, I think
Mm-hmm.
melanin,
Mm-hmm.
that it's actually easier for them to. Well, I think because black is in the dark, and that's like the soul realm of like earth and like water, so that's soul. And
But
then
see,
white's in the light. That's
you can't really dictate these titles based upon reality because these are titles that were created for people that have had a particular mind control and a particular plan in place when they decided to name people black or name people white. You know, there are people that are darker than me that will is identified as white. There are people lighter than you that in Slovakia that identify as black. They call themselves as like black people because black isn't a matter of biology. It's a matter of society. So you have to be very clear. You have to be very,
mm,
very, very clear when you just label and mislabel individuals. Like I said, it's like walking into Burger King. It's not about the particular race of the person because That person's race is not their biology. That's not their lineage. That's not
Okay.
their blood. That's not their ancestry. That's not their divinity. That's not their connection to spirit. You could have grown up in Ireland and been a part of the Highland tribe, and your bloodline could be deeply, deeply magical and deeply, deeply spiritual, right? Okay.
Mm.
And a person that was like very sophisticated, you understand what I'm saying, and was part of like the boule and never did anything spiritual and had no spiritual backing, you could possibly be more spiritual than that person that's perceived as black. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying? And you could be perceived as white and be deeply spiritual based upon your ancestry. And it's a personal
Mm.
fucking thing, bro. It's not racial, and it's not biological even. Not black or white. It's not man or woman. You know what I'm saying? It's about, are you dedicated to your meditation? Are you dedicated to
Right.
raising your energy up your spine? Are you dedicated to living through intuition? Are you dedicated to living to love? Are you dedicated to building up your electromagnetic frequency? And if you white, black, Chinese, and you decide to do that, you could be considered as spiritual. But it don't matter what I say. It don't matter how I feel. It's all about how you feel about your shit. It's all about what you do in the darkness. It's all about what you do in the shadow. Ultimately, that matters the
Mm.
most, right?
And my last question is: there's this guy Santos Bonacci, who's an astrotheologian who I learned a lot from.
Mm-hmm.
But he's on a tip about like how to like having like sex without ejaculating. And I can see how ejaculating and like pornography is definitely isn't so helpful for the spiritual path.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're with a mate and you don't ejaculate, that just happened to rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
If you're with a mate and you don't ejaculate, does that? I mean, what say you do? Does that bring you down? Just your thoughts.
It depends on the relationship and the actual process of sex. So sex is not like, sex has many different workings. You could have sex for pleasure, you could have sex to manifest a baby, or you could use sex to manifest. So if you're
Mm.
having sex to manifest, then you want the woman to orgasm and you don't want to orgasm. If you're having sex to
Mm.
have a baby, then you don't want to orgasm. I mean, you do want to orgasm as a man. If you're having sex for pleasure, then you don't want to orgasm, because this is the thing: you have sex and you stop, right? And you just do something else. And then you have sex again, like, 30 minutes later. And you have this process throughout the day of having sex at intermittent times. That's extremely
Mm.
pleasurable. And say, for instance, you have sex and you ejaculate, as a man, you probably thinking about playing a video game, you about to do a YouTube video, you about to do research, you don't give a fuck about the pussy no more. So the reality is, the
Mm.
more you save your sperm but engage in sexual actions with your mate, the more attraction you build throughout the day, the more lust you build, the more intimacy you build, because you're not ultimately just draining that energy.
And the same with masturbation. I'd
uh
imagine so.
I don't know.
uh,
I can't answer that.
I'm not afraid to go there.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah, yeah.
Scorpio. That's how we get that.
That exactly, and that's perfectly fine. And I just wouldn't necessarily know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't know if masturbation works in that fashion, because I've been, I don't know, I've been around women for so long. Not bragging or nothing, but it's just never been a point where I just had to be like,
I mean,
yo.
I can pull girls. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm,
I can pull girls. Like my
mm-hmm,
game is solid.
sure.
I'm just being curious. All
Sure,
right.
sure. You
Well,
can
thank
try
you.
it. I mean, it takes a scientist to try it, and it's called edging, if I'm not mistaken. And I know there's been studies around it, so you could Google
Oh, I've
edging.
heard about that.
Yeah, you can Google edging, and that's what you're actually referencing.
Uh, all right. I hear you. All
Hmm.
right. Well, thank you for digging deep with me. I really appreciate you.
Oh, no problem, man. You can call back anytime, man. I love the build.
All right, you're great. God bless.
All right, have a great day. What's up,
Man, what's up, man? What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
Man, so much to unpack, man. I just was listening to it. I was like, God damn. See, this how those conversations go. They stir you in so many different ways.
Uh-huh.
You be like, dang, you forgot your original point to call it in.
Right.
It's like, man, this, all right. But yeah, man, that was beautiful, beautiful what you did. That was the word that came to my mind, was beautiful,
Thank you.
on how, relationships are basically something magnetized.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This whole thing is about vibration. This whole thing is about your the love for yourself and how you're vibrating. So you looking in a mirror when you're looking at your partner or when you're looking at the people around you. It's just a reflection of the energy that you're producing, the energy that you're moving with. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm like, so this whole thing is just as simple as that. Like you have to be ultimately, like you were saying, in love with your soul. And when you're in that vibration, right, now you're able to magnetize the people that you're supposed to be with. Like me and my queen, me and D Ray, shit.
Mm-hmm.
We're ultimately in love with our soul, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean, we see each other, which makes our union, our divine love for each other, that much divine.
Can I ask you a question?
So, mhm.
You and D Ray, do y'all love each other? Do y'all love yourselves more, or do y'all love each other more? Meaning, do she love you more than she love herself, and you love her more than you love yourself? Or do y'all just redirect y'all energy solely on loving yourselves, and then that's y'all expression? You get that question?
This thing is unconditional. Uh this thing is not really about like level or a gauge of love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Love is. You see what I'm saying? I can't even say that I love myself more than I love my kids or D Ray. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'll leave this realm quick,
Uh-huh.
and then some might say, wow, you got real love for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm ready to go to the other side.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
Right.
am I being selfish? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, no, I'll take the bullet. Let me do it.
Right, right. And I think that's like,
You
man,
feel
like
me?
going to war or some shit, right?
So you know what I mean? And that's just that's just in a higher, getting out of the human level
Mm.
thinking, you know what I'm saying, of this day. But just keeping it on this this human level, really, there is no gauge or no meter, because I love them as much as I love myself, or probably even more than I love myself. It's just the understanding of the love I need to have for myself is going to be a reflection to my queen and my kids and whoever else is around me. Like, relationships are so big, because at the end of the day, like, I'm vibrating at a level to where now the only people I talk to is YouTube people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
these YouTube people are the people that are vibrating at the same level as me. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like you, like Will Caprew. Me and Will Caprew just did a meditation yesterday. Like, all of these guys, all of these people, like, I'm vibrating at that level. So now the understanding of my energy is resonant between, people that I fuck with and people in the chat room. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I still have like one or two friends that I can still, confide in and dive into talks with, but they're vibrating at the level too, even though it doesn't have to be spirituality. It could be vibrating at the level of just, I'm appreciating myself, or, vibrating at the level of business. You see what I'm saying? And all of those aspects. So yeah, man, this thing is deep, but I say always go within, because the love you have for yourself and start understanding that energy that you're exuding is going to be what you're going to reflect or magnetize, like you said.
That's what's because a lot of times, man, I found myself like thinking about kind of like even my relationship, but then I sometimes think about your relationship. A lot of time, I don't even know what that shit is. Not in a way where, not no crazy way, but just in a way like, damn, I know that what I'm speaking to is really touching on like Dream and D Ray type shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just be something that I feel deep within. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all did it right. And it's a lot of times where I think about like men in general, that expression just don't be there. And I'm asking you,
Mm.
do you think that's an issue, or is that a normal expression for a man to not be intrinsically linked to their, I'm gonna just say, they divine counterpart? Or do you even get into that? Is that a thing, or is that just something for you?
I was into spirit. I was into this work, right? And
Mm,
D. Ray she was getting into this work too, finding herself, understanding herself.
mm,
So this journey that me and my queen been on is just a beautiful journey of still understanding ourselves and going with it, and like having this kind of uh, unconditional love for ourselves, right? So
mm,
now when we're meeting each other and seeing each other, I already been into the whole feminine aspect, you know what I'm saying, or expressing myself, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm.
kind of, like with that energy or whatever, right? You see,
Right,
I tell her everything. I'm an open book. You see what
right.
I'm saying? And and that's something that's powerful, because you need somebody like that to confide in without them kind of judging you and saying, "Oh, you weak ass nigga, what the fuck?" And
It
and
get
then
it
as
get
you can
real
see, my
like that
queen,
though. It's funny, but it do get real like that. You be honest, nigga.
yeah. And the thing with me is, I'll keep going until I make sure that she understands my point clearly, even though it drives her crazy. But I'll be like, babe, I just want you to understand me fully and what I'm actually saying. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And she takes heed to that and all of that.
That's
Peace,
dope.
hood mystic.
Peace. What's up, D Ray? How are you this morning?
I am doing great this morning. I just wanted to chime in onto what Dream was saying.
Sure, that would be perfect.
He's actually telling the truth. He's actually telling the truth when he says that he was always able to express himself,
Mm-hmm.
which I wasn't actually used to, because in past relationships, which I'm sure a lot of ladies on here know, and like you just said, dudes wasn't expressing themselves like that. Dream told me not to blast him or anything like that, but he actually told me he loved me first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did I?
And you did.
Oh, well,
You
see,
did.
hey, see, love,
Oh,
love
y'all.
is.
That's what's
Listen,
up.
it wasn't with words, though, but it was still a major thing. He had dropped me off at work, and before you know it, I looked at my phone, and I had a text message from him of a video off of YouTube, Made to Love You by Gerald Levert. That's what he had texted me.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the message, he put, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just done. I just melted. So, yeah, so what he's saying is very true. He's always been able to express himself, and I definitely think that's due to the work and, and him being in a space to where he was really ready to love and ready to give himself, so he was in a space to where he wasn't judging himself for however he felt.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can I
yeah,
ask a question?
that's very true.
I ask you a
Sure,
question. So,
sure.
as a woman, what's the difference between a man showing his sensitive side and you being turned off versus a man showing his sensitive side and you like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go all the way. Like, it's all yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference? Because
Right.
you can hear. I think like I think that is more or less intuitive feeling, but I just want to get over the difference. I'm sure you experience both vibrations.
Yeah, so I honestly feel like it was a difference between a man, because I've had an experience like exactly like what you're saying, to where a guy was expressing himself, but it was a neediness there. It was obvious that he had an empty space there. He was wanting me to fill. He was wanting me to be his mother. He was wanting me to be that feminine aspect. And this specific guy that I'm talking about, his mother actually passed away a couple of years prior to our meeting. So he had this emptiness, like this void that he was needing me to feel, and so he was dumping all of his emotions, all of his, energy onto me, wanting me to care for him like a mother. So that's an automatic turnoff, because you don't want to come into relationships with someone where there's a void there. You can tell that there's an emptiness there, and they're looking for you to actually fill it. That's not how relationships work. It is our aim, it is our goal to be knowing and understanding ourselves and growing within our spirituality and finding someone who actually complements us. And so when Dream would express himself, it wasn't like he needed me to feel anything for him. It was just him simply expressing his truth. And so that's a turn on.
Gotcha.
That's real vulnerability.
Gotcha.
The other thing was actually, and I'm sure a lot of women have felt this before, like, damn, nigga, like, you really want me to be your mama up in here?
This is big.
Like,
This is really big.
And here's the beautiful thing. The beautiful thing about relationships is that we do go in and out of a mothering role, a sistering role, a partner role, a lover role. Those things, those shifts do happen. There's times where Dream does need me to actually care for him like a mother. There's times where I got to be his sister, and I got to be like, what's up, bro? And then obviously there's times where I'm his lover, I'm his partner, and vice versa. With him as my man, there's some times where I need him to be like a fathering figure and tell me, hey, you messing up, or to protect me in different ways. So we go in and out of those roles. But initially, like when we just now building, like, no, I need you to be able to stand firm on who you are. And so that was the difference.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's powerful.
It's one of those things where you walk into, you walk into this thing and you just kind of, be honest. Like, shit.
Yeah.
We, after a while of chasing females and stuff like that and doing the whole game thing, that we learned from Tariq Nasheed and shit.
Right.
That shit is, after a while, you be like, all right, man, what the fuck? What am I doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you just got to be like, look, this is who I am. Fuck it. Do you like it or not? And then, and be completely, open book. You know what I'm saying? And then that shit just will, and then at the same time, just understanding the person's, like, journey or mindset. You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody's not going to judge you or nothing like that, because you don't want to do that to somebody that you could just feel their vibration like is on some bullshit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they're going to take that and run with it. You know what I mean? But, be honest with somebody that you can look in their eyes and be like, hey, look, this is what it is. Fucked up here, and here. But at the same time, I'm working on here, and here, and this is what it is. Yeah, man.
One more
wanted
question
to,
for
I
y'all.
forget
I got
to,
one. Go ahead. I got one more question, but go ahead with your question so you don't forget.
Nah, before I forget, the white dude, like, this thing doesn't have anything to do about race. I'm going to tell y'all all the time, this thing is not about no race. This whole thing is made up. The only race is the human race. And if you're still human, then that's the problem. You see what I'm saying?
Man, look.
So the thing about the Caucasian people is the rhythm might be slightly off. I'm not doing this as a diss. I'm telling you what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying they can't get on rhythm on the same accord.
Mhm.
I'm just saying the vibration is not in alignment with the God particle, if that makes any sense. Now,
Right.
if you're one of them white people that are in alignment, then of course, then you, hey, what's up, family? You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But at the same time, that's all you gotta, there got to kind of be a understanding of what this thing is. And it's not nothing you can actually, try to intellectually know, right? That intellectual, throw that out the window. You can't
Right.
try to feed your way through this shit. You have to just be on the same rhythm, on the same tune naturally, or you can develop it naturally, but I don't know how.
Right.
Because it's just always been instinctively in us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We just know how to dance. We're on the same accord, the same rhythm, the same beat, universe, one song. So it's like when we speak, it's even a different thing that's happening. You know what I'm saying? It's a dance.
Mhm.
And that's with any race. I don't care, give a fuck what race you are.
Mhm.
It's about if you're on the same accord. There might be some black people that's
No rhythm.
not in alignment with their, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's what this thing is about, because you got to take the whole totality of the universe and know that it means music, and then say, okay, are we on this one song together? Am I in alignment with the song?
Mhm. And that's just years and
Yeah,
years
that's
and
it.
years of being in part of like society and things of that nature to take you out of your natural rhythm. And it's a real thing. Like it can be found. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, but a lot of us personally have to tap into that. Where it could be a person who has natural rhythm, right? And they be
Mm-hmm.
working all the time though. You feel me? And they don't even be dancing, right? It be people that can dance
Mm-hmm.
their ass off, right? Dance for the gods, right? But they spend all of their time in the
Mm-hmm.
office, right? So that's no
Mm-hmm.
better, right? than a person who at least is like on the dance floor and they looking stupid, right? It might be a little
Mm-hmm.
better for the person who is just trying to do it. And you know how it be on the dance floor. You be like in the suburbs, and they like,
And
"Where's the beat? The beat here, nigga. You there?"
yeah,
But at least they
exactly.
trying though.
And I ain't even talking about dancing, because I can't dance for shit.
Right.
I'm
Me
telling you,
neither.
shit. You see me dancing, you're gonna be like, but I understand the flow of this thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, not really, there's nothing you're really gonna see physically. Dancing is just the best thing we can describe, because. But hey, I tell you, you put me
Mhm.
on the basketball court, I look like a ballerina.
Right.
So you know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's different ways to measure it, and not really. You just gotta know within yourself. So to all the Caucasians out there, you
Mhm.
know that you are on the attunement. If you know what I'm saying, that
Mhm.
that's what it is. I give this is the one. This is the way you can find out. If you can listen to this
Mhm.
and listen to without bias. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If we're talking about melanin and,
Mhm.
black or whatever, and we're just speaking into it a totality, you
Mhm.
can listen to it and be like, oh, okay, I feel that.
Mhm.
I can dig that. I can feel that without feeling, damn, what the fuck? Fucking black people always thinking it's about them. You know what I'm saying? If you can just take it and understand it, then, I would say you are one of them. You know what I'm
I
saying? You
listen to
are a
the
part
white
of the thing.
supremacist dude, and I don't never be mad. I just be like, you got some good points. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
weird like that though. So I'm just
yeah,
like, I'm weird. So it gotta be like that. You gotta be a real trickster. It gotta be a joke. It gotta be a video game. If none of this shit is real, then neither is racism. Can you say that though? Is you that
no
engaged?
judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no judgment of yourself, because Panic, he had a white boy that took his class,
Mhm.
and the white boy was just like, man, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I just know I can hear this shit. You know what I'm saying? And he was on it, and Panic was like, "Well, yeah, you in shit." So you see what I'm saying? That's what this thing is. It's like you're not. It doesn't matter about the skin color, because I'll tell you what, man. I know some white people that came back. Some white people that came back white. Their soul was, and they came back white. There is no color in the spirit world. So shit. You know what I mean? You hear it, you hear it, you with it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. A lot of people hear
I feel it like yeah. So if you can hear if you can hear it without, now we're just saying totality. 100% of black people have this thing, but they just ignorant to the idea. So it's only 1% of us anyway.
1,000%.
You see what I'm saying? So it don't even matter.
Yeah.
The other 99% don't even matter, because they gonna be doing this lifetimes and lifetimes. We're talking to the 1%, and then we're talking to that 1% that just knows. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, we could it's like a conversation that gets you caught up into some, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when people come at me with like racial conversation, I just step out of that box immediately. Wait a second. You know what I'm saying? Why you even call yourself white? Why do I call myself black? But if, you know what I'm saying, like, I did the history on this shit, I could take this shit back to Atlantis. You ready to go there? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to deal with the totality of my ancestry and lineage right now? Because it can get really, really deep for your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's real easy to call me black. It's real easy to call you white, but I want us to fight to stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? And look at people as who the fuck they are and what they bring to the table, and not what they doing on the surface. I say, what you doing in the shadow? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you for real?
Exactly.
That's all that matters to me. I don't care about the shit that you show me, because you can show me anything.
Exactly.
Undercurrents be a motherfucker.
What was that? Man, I could name a whole bunch of white people that are black. You know what I'm saying? It's just nonstop.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Neville Garter, Rudolph Steiner, all these dudes that's writing these books and stuff like that. There's some of them, that's faking it, that's intellectual, but then you can read some of this stuff and you be like, La Malo Duquette. You can't tell me that nigga ain't. You see what I'm saying? That's crazy. He writing this thing like, he's writing it and telling you what it is straight up, easy. He's not doing it from no intellectual thing. He's writing it like a nigga would write it. You see what I'm saying? He just happened to come back white and shit and say, fuck it.
Carl Jung, like, dude, like,
yeah, man. There's a few, and then they probably did that to, like we talked about the spook that's out by the door. They probably did that to infiltrate and send this message to a whole nother level.
Right.
So this thing is deep, man. Sure, you talk to Will Caprew, he gonna tell you some shit. You can be like, damn, for real?
Right.
Yeah, that nigga black. I'm like, shit. So yeah, we definitely got to get off of that.
Yeah, it's very important that we do that, because at the same time, like, black people might be afraid to go into the voodoo, Santeria, botanicas, and get into the real deep or darker spiritual practices. But you know who ain't, though? You know who with the shit, with the candles in their basement, with the setups.
And it gets so deep. Man, it's just so deep, man.
It's
crazy.
deep, bro.
It's too deep, because some of them probably been mind controlled to believe in it and stuff like that, but some of them naturally gravitated towards it. Like, you naturally gravitate to, like, everybody that's listening to this message right now, they're naturally just gravitated towards this stuff. You see what I'm saying? So if you're naturally pulled towards it, then yeah, that's what it is, man.
Lamar said Nikola Tesla, another one. Out in Colorado.
Yeah, we can go on and on.
Man, look.
We can go on. I can go. I can go with singers and shit. You already know shit.
Tina Marie.
Yeah, who was that? Who was that? Everybody thought was black the whole time, but he turned out white.
Bobby
Guy.
Caldwell.
Like, man.
Bobby Caldwell.
Hurt your heart. Yeah, but I appreciate the bill, man.
Oh, you
Hood
and
had
me
a
both.
question for us, babe. You
I
done
did.
diverted us.
I did have a
Oh,
question
go
for
ahead,
you.
Hood.
I just got a question
go
in
ahead.
relation to partnerships and prosperity. Is it why, like, what's your thoughts on prosperity and partnership? Because that's ultimately what the purpose of this video is, to really get us into moving. Like, I feel like y'all have a partnership that has a prosperous union. Y'all do a lot of prosperous shit, as far as what I see. So I'm just trying to figure out the link between the two. Is there a link? Do y'all have meetings? Do y'all set intentions? Like, what's the thing about prosperity and partnership? Kind of unpack that for me.
Yeah, prosperity again is an energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vibration. Ever see these couples, right? You look at them and like, damn, they look just like each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or look at Beyonce and Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They are on the same vibration. She couldn't be with nobody else because she's trying to be on the. She sees herself as a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? And she sees something in Jay-Z that says billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So with this prosperity thing, your vibration, what you say about yourself, is going to be that, and that's going to be a reflection on the partner you're with. Because if I say, man, I'm always broke, we never get it. We live paycheck to paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Now that vibration is who I'm going to be in a relationship with. Paycheck to paycheck person. You see what I'm saying? But if I'm like, man, I always have money. Shit, money just comes to me easily. And like, you don't even have to say it. It's not even words. It's just more so just a feeling like I'm the shit. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And just like you're saying, you got to fake it till you make it. And do that together as a partnership. But if one is picking up if one is exuding that, you know what I'm saying, then eventually your partner, if they have unconditional love for you, they should be growing together, growing along with it. You see what I'm saying? Because now I say, like, let's use somebody else, another couple, right? They say the dude is like, man, I'm rich, I got this, I'm doing my thing, right? And all of a sudden stuff is happening for him, but then the household is still crumbling in front of his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Then obviously there's something going on to where he needs to either pick up his intention or he needs to actually look at his wife a little bit more. Put it like this, me and D-Ray, right? Man, our house will be a mess, right? It'll be jacked up. It'll be just totally ransacked, everything. And we'll know because we'll be like, damn, we vibrating on some bullshit right now, on some kind of lazy, stuck stuff. You know what I'm saying? On some that frequency. We just know it, and then you can get stuck in that thing to where you got to be like, damn. But the minute one of us picks ourselves up and says, okay, well, let me pick up this, let me do this, let me start changing my inner world. You know what I mean? Now we're both vibrate. Now I can say, well, shit, she's here. I gotta climb up to meet her. You see what I'm saying? And our vibration, our tone, our pitch, again, the sound, this rhythm is gonna be in accordance. You know what I mean? You can't play a violin with, well, nowadays you can play whatever shit. These dudes making some music, some bullshit ass music, but it's not the music, that low frequency music. You see what I'm saying? So, it's just about the music you're making. You know what I mean? And again, it's all about you know, inside out, not outside in.
Right.
So it has to be. Yeah, go ahead, babe.
And let me add into that too. And what he's talking about, y'all, is real talk. Sometimes the house can get chaos for hell.
Man.
Y'all know what the chaos is with small children. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? And so you got to definitely
don't
tap
even
into
talk
that
about
vibration.
it. We get it. We get it. We get it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So another thing that I like to think that Dream and I definitely put into motion is the law of polarity, too. So determining what prosperity actually is. Because for us, prosperity for us is, you know, living comfortable, getting to do the things that we enjoy doing, you know, talking to the family on YouTube, taking these small trips. And that does not necessarily mean, you know, a whole bunch of money flowing in. You know what I mean? That could be, you know, spirit just working out in divine ways and setting things up for us to be able to do it. You know what I mean? So within your relationship, you have to redefine what is prosperity. And, of course, money can be a part of that. But, again, you have to find that indifference to where your emotions are not up and down based off what your bank account says.
Right.
Because if your emotions, if you tap into low vibrations because your bank account is a little bit lower than it usually is, then you send out a vibration to the universe to send you more situations to where you get into that space. So for us, we literally be like, oh, shit, you know, this lump sum of money came in. We're good. Oh, shit, we done spent way more than we expected. We're good. So getting into that space of redefining prosperity and then also remaining indifferent and changing, when you change your perspective on what prosperity is, then money flows in. You know what I mean? There's an Abraham Hicks video out there to where she talks about, you know, abundance comes in so many forms. So if you are abundantly happy, you have an abundance of positive energy, you have an abundance of love within your relationship, then an abundance of money has to flow in. Because it's all a part of the same vibration. It's all a part of the same vibration. So that's one thing that Dream and I have definitely tapped into and, you know, have fully came into the understanding of. If we keep our vibration where it needs to be and we don't allow, because, y'all, just a couple of months ago, we had to buy a new washer and dryer. We had to buy a new dishwasher, and all of this stuff just broke, like, around the same time. So within a month, we bought a new washer, dryer, and a new dishwasher. Chaos. It was sheer chaos, everything just breaking down. But we didn't allow those moments to put us in a space to be like, man, damn, man, shit just messing up, man. Damn, man, what's going on? We said, okay, obviously, on the spiritual front and on the physical front, obviously we are being transitioned. Obviously, there's some chaos happening so that we can come into divine order. And so these dishwashers, these appliances are really doing what's in our best interest to align us with our highest good. And so keep it allows more abundance and prosperity to flow to us.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Because I'm getting what you say. I just kind of want to reiterate what you said. It was the first level was cleanliness is next to godliness. And even though things can get a little chaotic with small children, the ability to change that vibration is another level to attracting prosperity. And then another point that I want to touch on was, because you hit on so many different points. What was that last thing that was so powerful? It deeply moved me.
So, of course, because I live by it. So we have to, one, shift the meaning of prosperity. What does it really mean? And really be indifferent. So not allowing your emotions to be up or down based off of what your bank account looks like. You know what I mean? That's a big deal, you know, because your emotions are what's creating your reality. So if your bank account is looking a little bit shorter than what you used to and you start feeling some type of way about it, you're sending out a message to the universe like, damn, this is a big deal. I need to experience more of this so I can heal my perception of abundance, so I can heal my perception of prosperity, right? So we shifted to the thought and to the feeling and to the being that prosperity is being able to come on live with you right now, Mystic. Prosperity is being able to travel and go to lectures. Prosperity is being able to build with the family. So you have to shift what your ideal of prosperity is, and you do that within your relationship. Okay? Shift what it is. Prosperity is the health and the well-being of your children, the health and well-being of your relationship. And when you keep that as your focus and you keep your vibration high, money actually has to come because money and abundance is in alignment with that vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was so crazy because you mentioned the word chaos, and that's kind of like how my brain went. It went like in chaos, like boom. But the initial thought that was really like it was so transforming in my mind that it kind of like it blanked me out for a second. But I'm back. Okay. Um, you said that the appliances they had to move out of the house to put you in the proper alignment, and that's so powerful because it's like when you transition or you actually leveling up, the actual surroundings are the indication that you're actually going to manifest higher. So when we break things or we lose things or the kids knock something over, it's just a indication that an alignment needs to take place, that a leveling up is about to take place. So chaos within itself ain't a point to feel sad, is actually a point to be excited because you know shit is actually changing, shit is actually shifting. So that's
now that's
deep.
facts. That's
deep
the
right
that's it.
And what that is your subconscious mind is changing and forming into the reality that you set out, that you say you are. See what I'm saying? So now your ego is still fighting. So things have to go bad or whatever, before it goes good, because you know your ego is trying to keep you here. Look, the washer. Look, I told you.
Right. Oh, what he's saying is so true.
Oh my
God. So true. Just observe your life and you will see.
Look, there's a little dink on your car. See, I told you it wasn't you. Look at that. Look, and then what you got to do is just keep fighting. Like, nah, I'm good.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna maintain my vibration.
Right.
And that happens within your relationships too, family. Like, listen, within your relationship, y'all will be building, y'all will be growing. You'll feel like, damn, we really are evolving as a couple. And then you'll have a triggering experience that'll make you be like, I thought we were past this. I thought we were better. I thought we were this. I thought we were that. Again, that is your ego, trying to get in there and say, nah, y'all not as powerful or as dope as you thought you was. So when we're having these chaotic experiences, we just have to remember, we just have to come back into peace. Your initial reaction is going to be like, what the hell is this? That's going to be your initial reaction because we still have that human aspect of ourselves. The thing is not what's going on. And so you got to trust that. You got to know that the work that you're putting in, that the information that you're implanting into your subconscious mind is always aligning you. And so sometimes you have to have these chaotic moments to fully get into alignment with this new energy.
And why would you be going into this new energy with a dusty ass goddamn dishwasher and a half-ass working washer and dryer? Wouldn't it be more in alignment to get something new, high powered, futuristic type of energy? You know what I'm saying? And abundance is what, like, the more extravagant things you buy is more abundant. So the energy then comes back in that abundance fashion, because it's like, okay, you willing to take risks, you able to come through this next level, and really better your situation through your prosperous, abundant actions. And then having that motivation as a couple, it only makes you stronger because y'all have that same realization at the same time. That's what I'm hearing, because it could be one thing, right, where it's like one of y'all like, all right, we about to get this new washer and dryer, and the other one like doing the math, like, what the hell, what you talking about? Right?
Yeah, but then things start coming up, and you be like,
because you made them big purchases. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you look at that. Yeah, and then you look at that and you be like, oh, okay, well, damn, okay, well, stuff is lining up, and you know what I mean, and so yeah, it's just about that's it. It's about just vibration, man. Family, for real, for
Man,
real.
and it's powerful to exhibit that in union. So that and two is better than one sometimes when you have that same vibration and that same focus. So it's good to have that, right? But you got to be mindful and
Mm-hmm.
discernment of that. But you don't have to worry about that if you magnetizing it first and foremost. You agree?
Yeah, yeah, facts, 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 facts. Yeah, man. Hood, we love your platform every morning, man. It is a must to listen to Hood in the morning. Hood in the
That's what's
morning.
up.
That whole
Good in the
damn.
morning.
Hood in the morning. That shit gonna jam,
Yeah.
nigga. Yeah, damn. That's the music. And
Yeah.
we appreciate you, man, and your queen, for doing this every morning because this build is what the family needs. You feel me?
Yeah, I really am
Like,
appreciative and happy that you. I'm always happy when y'all call in, and then you got D Ray calling in now. It's like a thing now. People will be like, "Where D Ray at?" Dream. Like, all right, where D Ray? But it's so beautiful and
mm-hmm,
it's so powerful because it's just like I like a lot of times I was just like getting chills and you know what I'm saying. Like I was just having physical reactions to. So it's just like um it's in the moment. You can't script it. It ain't nothing planned. It's just pure spontaneous, pure in the spirit. So, I really, really
mm-hmm.
enjoy it, bro.
Exactly. We
But I
do the
wanted to
same
say
thing
some.
for
I'm gonna
sure.
send you something on a text, man. That's kind of crazy about the coronavirus and Kobe. I heard it or
No, I haven't. Yeah, send me that. Send me
all
that for
right.
sure so I can look into it.
I'm gonna send it
Yep.
to you right away.
All right. Peace, God.
All right, man. You have a good day, bro.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Why not?
713. You tapped in with the Hood Mystic. What's going on with you?
Oh, what's up? What's up, Hood?
Chilling, man.
How you
Chilling.
doing today, man?
Doing
This
well.
this Lionel right here.
What's up, Lionel? Good to hear from you. 823
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Yeah, really I was just calling in, listening.
Hmm.
'Cause I had it on speakerphone, and I was dropping my little girl off to school,
Sure,
so
sure.
I had put it on here. So yeah, man, y'all was going deep about that love,
Hmm.
well, everything, the love, the prosperity,
Hmm.
the white folks,
Hmm.
all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, it's shoot, I don't even know where to start because I was like, oh man, okay, yeah, oh man, and then when Dream and his lady started talking, it was like, okay, yep,
Hmm.
experience that, yeah, I know exactly what they talking about,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I know about that feminine energy, well, you got to heal it,
Hmm. For sure.
when that love comes through. 'Cause when I first got my reading, my Akashic record reading from it was just some years back,
Hmm.
from Khadijah, that's the first thing she told me, like, look, Lionel, you gotta heal that what you got going on with your mama. And I was like, God damn, how she know that? uh, you know,
Hmm.
and you gotta heal that feminine energy.
Hmm.
But man, it was a little bit difficult, not hard, but just a little challenging because you know how we program.
Right.
When you grow up on listening to certain music,
Hmm.
um, grew up in a neighborhood where every man, you can't show no femininity, can't show any weakness,
For sure.
and so you just take on these attributes, and even when you're sensitive about something,
Hmm.
you can't even show that, because
Right.
I done seen some fights, man, with dudes getting the shit beat out of them, man, and I would jump in there and stop
Hmm. Hmm.
it. But
Hmm.
inside,
It was
I would
probably
just be
me. It
feeling
was
this guy.
probably me because that was probably me. But go ahead.
You was kicking ass, you was getting your
I
ass
was
kicked.
getting my ass kicked. But go ahead.
hey, hey, like we used to say, you fought though.
Oh
But
man, yeah, I know what you mean
my
though.
stomach, yeah, my stomach would start turning,
And, you know, I'm looking at everybody just watching like, man, y'all ain't going to stop this shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just jump in, and these were some dudes, you know, that you don't really want to, you know, deal with, like, on that level.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, hey, man, he had enough, bro. He had enough. You proved your point, man.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but inside, this shit would give me a queasy feeling, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like I wanted to vomit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And other
For
dudes,
sure.
man, he beat his ass. And I'd be like, man, that shit did something to me, you know.
Right.
And I like a good fight more than anybody because I used to box.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, you know, it's a point. You got him, it's over with, you know.
Right.
But I'm rambling on here as I usually do.
Oh,
but
you good?
You always have that nurturing and healing energy. And
For
even
sure.
when she told me that I had this healing energy, I didn't want to hear that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, you got the healing energy, and I knew it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, yeah, you want to hear like you the warrior king and the warrior
Sure.
prince, and, you know, you on some Bruce Lee shit.
Sure.
But
I think
and that was a
that's
big thing
that
for me.
Ogul. That's that Ogul energy, you know, versus the Shango energy. And I guess you can learn a lot from Shango having that Ogul energy because it's all about your opposite where you got to learn from, as opposed to because it's an assertive action that can actually free you. There's a freeness within you that can actually be exposed when you assert your masculine energy in a healing form without that queasy feeling, because like Dreamwise was saying on the previous call, that's the ego saying, you know, you gotta kind of be in the background. You ain't gotta do nothing. You know, it ain't he a big dude. He might beat you up. You know what I'm saying? All of these particular things, but you gotta move past that and kind of step into it because that's just your natural healing. That's what you do, you know. You a healer, you know what I'm saying? So it's a real thing, you know. And it's not a point of being ashamed of it, it's more of embracing it. And that's what you can actually learn from the Shango archetype or the Shango Orisha or the Shango.
Exactly. And I've embraced it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Cause even when I wanted to fuck somebody up on a spiritual tip instead of doing the ritual to fuck them up, especially somebody I had a relationship with, you know, those thoughts come like, I'm gonna fuck this motherfucker up. I'm like, you know what? Nah, send that healing energy. You know, I just go in and send that healing energy. Most of the time, people was hurt, like my ex-wife. You know, she kept dragging me in and out of court, and you know, sitting there, just saying stuff that wasn't true, man, and you know, she painted me as a abuser. And I was like, you doing this shit in front of these white folks? I'd be goddamn. You know, everybody in the court looking at me like, you know. But anyway.
But then you go within yourself and heal that part of yourself, and you don't get this, and then it becomes the different. So when you have this healing energy, it's always an indication of some type of healing or some type of inner work that you can do. And you can't never change the past, but you can go into somewhere that's parallel to the past, and you can change the energy and vibration to it. And it's like, you know, whatever you fear at this point, it'll manifest, or at that point you is manifesting the last thing you would expect, because that's how ironic and that's how tricky your energy is. It'll manifest the last thing you expect, but you able to manifest it in a different way once you go within yourself and heal that part.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things I started doing. I was healing her. What I would do, I would go into my imagination, put my palm face up like the heart chakra, and send white light. I picture her heart as a rock, throwing a rock around it. So I would send the light, hitting her heart chakra. It would go from green to pink to gold. Now imagine the gold going through her veins, her body, and she bursting and being illuminated. So I would do that over and over and over and send her healing energy. And I know that shit worked, you know.
Ain't no doubt
I
about
know it worked.
Ain't no doubt about it. That worked just the same way as I'm about to walk to the store and get me some juice. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing. You just told me
Exactly.
directions to the store right now. You told me something simple and plain. You feel me? Anybody
Yeah.
with ears can listen and do that. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like if they got ears, let them hear. You understand what I'm saying? There's always some wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the simple shit, OG. You know, it's not the advanced things. It's simple shit just like that. It take a whole person to a whole nother level. Relationship be on a whole nother level. They do that simple thing you just explained. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly. And another thing I called her and I asked her if she needed to hear this physically for me to forgive me for everything I've done in our relationship. Forgive me if I've hurt you directly or indirectly, knowingly, unknowingly. You know, forgive me for anything I've said, done. And I would do that too. I would visualize myself on one knee and grabbing her hand and asking for her forgiveness. And I did this with everybody I had unresolved issues with. Not the men. I wouldn't grab their goddamn hands. You know. I would ask them to forgive me, and I would visualize I have them in an old jail cell. I see the jail breaking down, I see the chains coming off, and I would just see them walking into a forest in a white light, asking them to forgive me, and I forgive you, and I would just see them jail coming down, the chains breaking, and walking off into the white light. And I did that with everybody, well, mostly everybody. Somebody, I'm still fucking up. The cops that kicked my ass at 18, oh, they still get me.
For sure.
They still getting the judge. She's still getting it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
For sure.
They still getting it. But
for sure.
when I first opened my heart chakra, I was crying all the damn time. You know, I would just watch a movie and tears would come down. You know, and I'm just like, man, what's wrong with me? You know, I was crying all the time, and it was just like, man, I'm becoming a bitch. What is wrong with me? And I was the type, like I said, I was the type of masculine guy who, and I didn't understand at the time that was fear of being in a committed relationship.
Right.
You know, I was kind of living, I'm a player.
Right.
I don't need to be tied down. But really, I was, which I did like that lifestyle
for sure.
at the time. But I didn't know a lot of times of women I really did like, that really could have had built something with.
For sure.
I was self-sabotaging.
100%.
And I didn't understand that was fear.
100%.
I was like, well, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
There it is.
You know. And I know this one sister was my soulmate. And you know, I know why I did it was fear. I ended up having a baby on her. And, you know, I never got over it. Well, I got over it, but it took me a while.
For sure.
I would look up and see what she was doing, and I seen her at Comic-Con with some white dude. And I'm like, shoot, this goof-ass motherfucker. But, you know, it was the point, you know, like, okay, look what you did to it. Look what you did. Look how you reacted, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, you know. And even though physically I couldn't call her, well, I could have, but I didn't want to do that. I just, in my imagination, I you know, asked for forgiveness and did the same thing. And we was talking about that lack. I'm all over the place. We was talking about that lack. It took me a while because I grew up poor.
Sure.
When you grow up poor, it takes a while to exercise that lack, like the sister was just saying. I would look at these videos every morning, on repeat, and exercise that lack out of my life. And I did that for a while. And I was telling you about that $100,000 I got, but how I did that, I did that during the Diwali festival, you know. Okay. And I set up a Lakshmi altar and all that. And I was just putting stuff up there to Lakshmi.
And your house was real clean during this time, I take it. You a clean person?
Yeah. Sometimes.
I mean, sometimes, but during this particular time, you was on your JO, right?
Oh, yeah. And, like I said, I was masturbating and putting the semen on the third eye and on the heart and telling them to come to me. So, like I said, she came and broke me off some pussy and everything. And when I was telling you that I got the confirmation, I was telling you last week, my cousin, my cousin had transitioned in like around 96. And she the one came to me in this big hall. I couldn't remember. And she handed me it was on like a tablet, a notebook. And she was like, I did it for you already. And I was reading it, and I kept reading. I said, okay, I'll remember this when I wake up. I'll remember this when I wake up. I'll remember what I'm reading when I wake up. But I couldn't remember that shit for nothing. I read it a dozen times, trying to, okay, I remember this when I come. Remember what they said. I couldn't. But I knew that was a confirmation that it was coming through. You know, and didn't know how it was going to come. And, but I guess we got to put off. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's probably, you know, a lot of things, a lot of jewels, a lot of wisdom, and the whole process of manifesting and the kind of sacrifices and the way that you put your energy on the line to get to that level, man. A lot of people might be like, you know, how did you do that, or how you manifest, or how you get money? This is how. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to put yourself on that next level and in that next plane and really understand the festivals, understand the energy, do your research, understand the times and how to really address these particular energies. And you might want 100 grand. You know what I'm saying? You might want 2 million. You might want some extra cash. You understand it? These things ain't nothing wrong with them, and you just gotta be sincere and about that life. And what you putting down, OG, is that you about that life. You understand, and that's beautiful to me.
And I don't know if you mentioned that, but Dream mentioned it, that yeah, that black people don't do this, black people don't do. We might have been talking to the white dude. Black people don't do this, black people. That was a big thing I had to break through. You know, because I'd be meditating under a tree. You know what I'm saying? Man, niggas don't do this shit. What you doing? This is corny shit. Niggas don't do this. You know, I'm doing my candle magic. Man, what you know, and then the ego kept fucking with me, trying to get me out of that. Like, man, niggas don't do this. And I got to the point where, fuck it, I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck what niggas do. I'm doing it. So I had to break through. I mean, I did everything from urine therapy. I poured a hot candle. I did the candle. I poured the shit on my head. That shit burnt the hell out of me. But I was trying to break through, you know. And I knew when I was doing the urine therapy, I'm like, man, fuck, I'm drinking my own piss. What the hell is this? Break through. Keep going. Keep going.
You know, that's powerful, man.
You know?
A lot of people will look at that and be like, oh, that's crazy. But, you know, we talking about like power here. And a lot of people have like real diseases, real pain, real sickness, real shit going on. And they'll be like, well, drink your goddamn piss. And they'd be like, hell no. And then they'd be like, okay, take this pill that's made from piss. But you don't know it's made from piss. They got some old type of weird scientific name, but it ain't no healing that's really going on besides urine. And that's a real live mystery that you hitting on, and a lot of people gonna hear it and be like, well, that's kind of disgusting, which I know it is, but your ass walking around here with pain all in your left limb and shit, and don't know what the fuck to do about it. So it ain't really about that, you know what I'm saying? It's really about healing. So you touching on some shit, OG.
Exactly. And I had built up so much light. Like when I closed my eyes, you know, when you were a kid, you close your eyes and put a flashlight in front of your face. That's how I looked. I was like, shit, man, I can't even sleep, you know. And then all these spirits just kept coming to me all the time. Like, man, what the fuck y'all want? You know. And these was like famous people. So I said, well, you know what? I was wearing these certain T-shirts, getting these T-shirts with the famous people, and every T-shirt I wore, boom, that person would come to me. But I had to chill out on that because I had a what's my man from the '60s? Purple, the dude with the guitar. God, I'm going blank.
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix. And that motherfucker tried to put his dick in my mouth. Now, ho, what the fuck? Nah, real talk. And I'm like, you know, and I'm like, that motherfucker. So I was like, okay, he was in them 60s, man. They was doing all that shit. So they was doing that real, all right, man. So this was years ago. So recently, my girl spent the night,
Mm-hmm.
and she kept my doggone one of the Jimi Hendrix T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
So she wore it to sleep, and I said, you had a sexual dream last night, huh? You know, my girl, she ain't into none of this. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right,
She know
right.
I am, but she on.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Jimmy came broke you off last night, huh? I said, you could tell me. Well, I like, yeah, I know he did. I know he did. That's why I don't wear that goddamn shirt no more. I know goddamn well he did. Freaky ass shit.
Man, thank you so much. Oh man, I needed this, bro. Damn, you got me wanting to go to the thrift store now, man. Look and see who I want to go in the dream world with now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be looking
I'm telling you,
online.
they
I'm
gonna come to you.
gonna try to get me an Eartha Kitt T-shirt like ASAP because that's somebody that I be really.
Yeah. And then I had all kind of ancestors coming to me when I was doing ancestral work. I had I stay in Texas, and so I just got a letter out the blue from Chicago. Mabel Jackson, my last name Jackson, so Mabel Jackson from Chicago left me a house.
Wow.
I don't know Mabel Jackson in Chicago. Who the hell is Mabel Jackson? But I know my mom and daddy was from Mississippi, and all of them moved to the Midwest. You know, after his generation, all of them moved to Ohio, Michigan, Nebraska, Illinois, Wisconsin, St. Louis, all that Midwest area. So I know my mom would always tell me she had a lot of people in the Midwest. So Mabel Jackson. I'm like, and I just kept throwing it to the side, like, how, you know, where's this shit coming from? Didn't understand. So I finally, like, Mom, you know Mabel Jackson? She's like, yeah, that's my daddy's sister. That's one of my aunts. She stay in Wisconsin. So I'm like, well, she don't stay in Chicago? Nah, not that I know of. So it finally came to me when my mama went to the family union, got the book. They did the family tree. Mabel Jackson, another, she finally came to me. She said, look, I was leaving you this doggone quick. You know, I started doing the spitting the liquor, calling out the names. And she was telling me that was her. She was sending that shit to me. But at the time, I didn't put it together. You know, I'm just like, then I was looking, I was like, this shit on MLK in Chicago, that shit might be fucked up. I was like, let me go online and look at it. And it was a nice little crib. It was a nice crib. And for whatever reason, I didn't act on it, you know.
Right.
And I was like, I ain't going up there to spend that money. And wow, that shit sound like a Tyler Perry move. I ain't doing that shit. But it was just showing you how when you fuck with the ancestors, they fuck with you back.
For sure.
They fuck with you back. You know, even if you ain't met them in a physical, you know, they just appreciate you giving them that energy.
For sure. And that's
they
a
help
fact.
them rise up because I'm going to be stuck like a mug.
That's a fact, man. I love talking to you, Lionel, man. Just, you know, always call in and drop us these little jewels and these gems and these wisdoms because got away with a history and a spirituality, and I know you got story after story after story. So, you know, whenever it moves you to call in, man, do so.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that reading. I had looked it up the other day. I'm gonna get that reading.
Okay, for sure.
There's one more thing I want to say. You wouldn't have to be left-handed, would you?
I am.
I'm left-handed too. August 23rd, I'm left-handed. God, they hit me last week. I said, I'm asking me, I wonder is he left-handed?
Left-handed.
You know damn.
I'm left-handed though. Like a lot of people be right hand, left hand. I'm like left. Like I don't know what to do with my right hand. My right hand. Good for nothing.
I'm here.
Good for
damn.
nothing.
Okay. It just hit me last week to ask you that. I've been listening to this like Good Morning America. You know, I get up in the morning, drop my daughter off at school, and I usually put my music on when I'm working out. But man, let me get that gonna tune in. You know. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. God damn. Okay.
Yep. It's a strong connection between me and you, brother. You know, that's why I say reach out. Let's talk about it. It's a lot of things we can talk about. You the older me. You got more what people like about me, they like about you. Just you like an older version, like an older brother or something to that effect, So, it's more to it, So just a lot of things we can explore and a lot of things we can understand, you know what I'm saying, just through the conversation with each other. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
that's an interesting connection.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
That's a
heard you say yesterday that um, August 22nd and 23rd and 24th
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
for Royalty.
mm-hmm,
And it's funny because my wife was born on August 22nd.
mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
it was just funny, And I know where was my soulmate. It didn't work out, but
mm-hmm. Yeah, you
I think
don't
she got spooked.
necessarily marry your soulmate. You tend
Hmm.
to marry the woman that you're supposed to marry, and your wife don't gotta be your soulmate. Your wife just gotta be your wife, and you just gotta be her husband. The same way, Burger King ain't your dream job, but that don't mean you ain't gonna just be fucking up Whoppers and shit because this ain't your dream job.
Yeah,
No, you do the
yeah,
best.
yeah,
You make the best goddamn Whopper Junior you can. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you at right
yeah.
now, wherever you at, and whoever it's our responsibility to love our wives as wives and not really as soulmates, and allow our soulmates to show up in different places in different areas through businesses, through friendships, through children, things
Hmm.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think well, I know she was. I don't think I know she
Mhm.
was, but all this freaked out,
Mhm.
that she would see the spirits. She
Mhm.
was like, I see all these spirits in the house, these devils, and ain't no goddamn devils. You
Mhm.
talk to them, ask them what the hell they want, like anybody else coming to the door. What you want?
Mhm.
But she just didn't understand that whole concept, and it scared her. And I see all these spirits, like shit. Ask them what they want, just like I do. What
Mhm.
you want? Who are you? What you want?
Mhm.
But I couldn't get her on that, and she wasn't even a sister who went to church, but she got in that old goof ass church, and that was that.
Yeah.
And I like, damn, you don't get in the church, you're the one that's gonna give you some goddamn money. Goddamn,
Mhm.
you get in the church with the dope fingers and shit, and niggas getting out of prison. Shit, show me how to get some goddamn prosperity. If I'm gonna go to goddamn church,
Right.
shit,
Right. I mean, and it's
you know.
churches like that though.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It says shit, but I knew she was my soulmate, but sometimes in this physical realm, we came together and we supposed to be for the time we supposed to be, and
Mhm.
that's that. And I wish I could have. I ain't gonna wish because everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. But I wish I'd have been more open to being vulnerable
Mhm.
while we were together,
Right.
And I really wasn't that open. I was still a little more rigid,
Mhm.
in my thought process, and stubborn, which I got, that goes. It's a process,
Yeah, but the same
to
way you can change your past with other stuff. You can still change your past with the whole relationship thing. Is more or less of a vibration that you feeding into, where me and you can have a whole conversation on so much magic shit, and then we start talking about your soulmate, and then it's like, you forget about your abilities and things of that nature. But that's how it works. But that's how come we got to have conversations, because first thing we got to remind ourselves of our abilities. The second thing we got to do is use them, and we can't look at this situation in an aspect of this is how it is. I'm not going to,
hmm
not even in a way where that girl come back to you, but you actually think about it in a more healthier way, because it can disrupt your vibration too, just looking at stuff in the
yeah.
incorrect way.
And it's funny. I was thinking about what Green was saying earlier about he ready to get the hell up out of here sometimes. That's how I be feeling sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like, man, look, my mission ain't complete yet. I ain't ready to get the hell on.
Right.
Hey, man, it's about time for me to goddamn boogie.
Right.
This shit here, goddamn, this shit's just over and over the same goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for me to go to the party because I done seen the goddamn party. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, shit, man, I'm ready to go to the party and get my goddamn party on. you know. But I guess, well, I guess I know shit. Okay, there's still some shit left for me to do down here, I guess.
It's some shit that's left for you to do down here, and it's some easy shit. You know what I'm saying? It's some real easy shit. It's some cool shit, but it's still some shit that you need to do. But you doing it. You know what I'm saying? And you more or less are following your intuition and having fun and enjoying and sharing and making sure that your vibrations is high. You know, that might be the only thing that your ass need to do down here. You know what I'm saying? But it's a thing to do nonetheless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, man. I really enjoyed it today. And this one thing I want to speak. We all was talking about the how people can incarnate black into white and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I ain't gonna say I struggle with because I really don't. Shit, I think every book in my library got doggone, except the social books, most of them. Shit, about 85% of them by white folks. So, you know, or people with white skin. You know what I'm saying? So, but where I stay in a town called
Beaumont, Texas.
And
there's some beautiful women down there, man. Oh my, those in Beaumont, and I seen what looked to me like mermaids. I think they had fins and shit. They were just gliding around the goddamn papados. I wanted to move. I wanted to just come down there and live there because I ain't never seen beings that beautiful before. But yeah, that's my experience of both.
Okay.
I know what I'm talking about.
Down here you got, yeah. So, down here, you got a lot of little small towns. Like, they motherfuckers think this the 30s or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So you deal with that. And in a lot of places down south, you know what I'm saying? You deal with that. You still deal with that undeserved white arrogance, like, you know what I mean? So, I was like, okay, man, I ain't gonna react. That's what they don't know. I know who I am. So I was like, okay, how can I goddamn just not go off on them all the time? I want to tell you. So what I started doing, I started going in my mind and just making them as small. They had this old commercial. The frosted side is for the kid in me, and the frosted mini wheats, where the adult would turn into a fucking kid, Now I started doing that, when they do that, I just, boom, turn their ass into a kid. This is just fucking little kid playing grown. So I would turn their ass into a fucking child, And, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know what you're a fucking child, boom. This fucking kid, so, you barely at my goddamn knee, So
I remember that damn commercial, man.
You remember? So that's how I went in and started dealing with that white supremacy, arrogance, like, all right, boom, fucking child, man, get out of here, And it became funny to me, seeing them what, they should just.
I see you, man.
Yeah.
You be putting in work though, man. You be putting in major work. Man, I swear, if you had a YouTube page, boy, your ass would be, man, your ass would be fire. God damn. Your shit funny, man. It's funny. And the reason why it's so funny is because it's so damn real. So it's just like it hit a special spot in people, and you got the whole, I don't know, you could call in and we could chop it up, man, but the things that you got to say, they meant for people to hear. They wasn't always just meant for you, because you done dropped so many gems within this conversation that if a person had a pen or a pad and just started to do the simple shit that you said do, their whole life would change. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. And you ain't gonna be worrying about that. Even when I go to barber shop and I look my homeboy went to DC one time for my cousin had a 30th birthday party in DC. Me and my homeboy, we went out there and kicked it, had a great time. So we was in front of the White House. It was election year, and they came and interviewed us. I'm up to the boom, put the camera up, and started asking me questions. Then they asked me questions after that. He said, man, I sound like a goddamn fool, bro. Well, I love it, boy, but what you did, though. Man, where you think they're going to show that at? I said, oh, man, don't worry about that shit, man. Fuck it, man. You talk like you talk, man. Fuck it. You know. But that shit bothered him so much that now he was a barber. You go in the shop, he got it on MSNBC, CNN, everything political. And this was years ago. So, yeah, let the motherfuckers put their camera in my face. Now I have something for them. That shit bothered his ass so goddamn much. You know, just about goddamn, he didn't sound right when, you know, when they put their camera in his face, he sounded crazy. Right. Instead of just laughing at that shit, you know, that bothered him to this day. You know, that he be like, man, he wanted, I like, man, Carl, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit, man. Right. You know? Right. And so when I'm looking at it in the barbershop and I see him out, I just picture him the same way, boom, as little kids, you know what I'm saying? Some fucking preschoolers.
Yeah. And that's so interesting, man. That's so interesting and so powerful. That if you can hold that resonance, your goddamn supervisor ain't gonna hold that same energy, you know, 2 weeks in or you practice. Oh man, that'll be your whole work life would be like, cause you know, you might envision them to be big monsters and things of that nature, but you start envisioning people that's really getting on your nerves as little kids, like that goddamn Frosted Mini Wheats commercial. Oh my God. Oh man, that's magic, man. Because I remember that. I don't even be remembering commercials, but that commercial, it was a dude. He was reading the paper and then he ate the cereal. He turned straight into a little baby, and he had the glasses on and the suit. I remember that shit clear as day. You understand? And man, that's some magical shit. That's some magical shit.
And it's so simple, you know.
Yeah, it is.
We try to make it difficult, but it's so simple. The power of the doggone mind.
Man.
And I got a homeboy working at the post office. He say, man, I come in there like I'm like a lizard or a salamander. He say, I'm late every day. They don't tell me nothing because he imagine himself crawling on the wall, invisible. You know, he crawl on the wall, invisible. He crawl on the ceiling. He like, people be like, man, why they don't never tell you shit? He's like, man, I don't tell him nothing. He say, I just be like, I don't know. You know. He said, man, they don't never tell you. Come in when you want to. They don't never tell you nothing.
Man, Lionel, man, I got a book, man. I gotta go, man. This has been great.
Okay, bet.
But look, man, call in tomorrow. Call in whenever, man. This show is yours, man. You got it, bro. I did this for you. You killed it, man. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate it, Hood.
No
I appreciate
problem,
it, Hood, man. I'm gonna get that reading because I'm gonna get that. We're gonna check about my astral chart because I didn't look it up. I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna look it up and then I'm gonna type something up for you too. So it's gonna be all put together for you.
All right, bet.
All right,
and y'all
man.
Have a great one, man.
You too, Lionel.
Good, man. I appreciate you.
Man, thank you, bro. Thank you. I mean, this is gonna be recorded. You know, I'm gonna be able to listen to this. So, you know, thank you for this, man. Cause the laughter, it was from a different place, Lionel. Thank you. Hey,
oh man, I appreciate it.
I'm gonna text you because I just want to get your email address. And people want to reach out to you.
Okay, bet.
So, you know, you got, you know, people. Dream wise, he share our same birthday, and I'm sure you got a connection with him. Yeah. And y'all in Texas too together. Y'all both called back to back. So I'm gonna exchange numbers with y'all and make sure y'all get in contact with each other if that's okay.
Okay, bet. That'll work.
Man. Thank you, man. We'll talk.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, have a great
day.
Y'all
stay up.
You too, man.
All right, you too.
Hey. All right, family. We is out of this thing. What an excellent show today. I really appreciate all the callers, Lionel, Dreamwise, my astrotheologist friend who got this thing popping. You know, everybody that called in, thank you for calling in. Really make this show watchable and people like to tune in. Thanks to y'all. So I couldn't do this shit by myself. So much love, much respect for y'all taking out time and energy to call in, have people kind of help people in ways that I couldn't. Lionel, Dreamwise, D-Ray put out some powerful downloads that if you just was paying attention and you eyes in your relationship and your magic, you could turn up levels. With that being said, man, shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out Dreamwise. Shout out D-Ray once again. Miss Love Life. Tanisha. Stray. Spiritual Butterfly. Miss Love Life. Yeah. Tiffany. Another thing, I'm about to start these Patreon readings, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and end this live, and I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll discuss some more. Peace out.